Hi. I haven't made a video in a while, and I haven't really felt like I needed to, but I'm like struggling right now. Everything that I've kind of based my identity on has kind of been challenged. And let me start at the beginning. So last year I developed, let me even go before that. I've been using prednisone. I've been prescribed prednisone off and on for the last 5 years or so, as a way to kind of manage my symptoms. And last year I developed a very rare side effect called a vascular necrosis in my hip, and that kind of forced me to go back to rheumatology. And it had been a long time since I'd been to rheumatology, and so I went back to my old rheumatologist, and I had waited almost 8 months for this appointment, and it was this past week. And I had brought my mom with me because I didn't have a good feeling going into this appointment. I'm kind of glad I brought her with me because even though I have been assured by doctors over and over again that I'll be taken more seriously this time, and no, he's not going to tell me the same things he told me before. I was still told, actually worse, I was lectured, and I quote, "You don't have lupus. You've never had lupus. I don't know why you think you have lupus. We've gone over this. You've never had lupus." Which took me by surprise, because I have been told I have lupus. I have had positive blood work. And I'll be the first to admit that I am not, I'm lucky that I'm very moderately mild symptoms. I don't come across like I'm super sick. But this doctor just ignored everything that's developed in the last 2 years. Ignored the idea that things could have changed. Ignored the idea that all my other symptoms mattered, and the only thing that mattered is that I had pain, and that I was at one point in time diagnosed with a chronic pain disorder, so that's all it could ever be. And he dismissed the previous positive blood work by using the excuse of false positives based off of medication that I'm currently on. Which made no sense, because I was not on this particular medication at that point in time. And he only took anything seriously when my mom started stepping in, and she could tell that I was starting to panic and really get in a bad headspace. I should mention that a lot of my PTSD comes from things that happened while I was in the military, and a lot of that revolves around medical care. And so things like this, I don't like using the word triggered. I think it's overused a lot of the time, but like in this particular case, I feel like it's appropriate to say that I was triggered. I did have a panic attack over it, and it did trigger flashbacks, and I had a lot of trouble functioning, which doesn't help my case. It doesn't help me get taken seriously, but I had a doctor that was so unwilling to look at symptoms that, in my opinion, are very serious and need to be taken seriously. And in his mind, none of it mattered. None of it mattered. I have done a lot of research on lupus. I've done a lot of research on fibromyalgia. I've done a lot of research on hypothyroidism. I like to know what doctors are saying about my body as much as I can without actually going to medical school, just because I like to be an involved patient. And to be dismissed like that was really painful. I was not, like, he didn't even give me the chance to tell him that I've been having symptoms of Raynaud's disease. He didn't give me the chance to tell him about the different, symptoms that I've been having that have nothing to do with pain. If I had no pain, if pain was all I had to deal with, then I wouldn't bother going to a doctor because I could handle it. But and throwing this out there on the internet to be mocked and made fun of, sure, probably gonna happen, but like, I'm an adult and I regularly have accidents because I can't control myself, and I just would like that to be taken care of, because I would like to be able to go out and do things socially, and I would like to be able to have friendships and not go in public and constantly be looking for a bathroom or be seated near a bathroom or worry about things like that. That would be nice. But he didn't even give me the chance. Like, I couldn't even ask for advice about my thyroid, if my thyroid could be a problem, because he immediately kept changing the subject back to managing my chronic pain, which I am doing relatively well on my chronic pain. My pain's not what stops me most days. And that's what's so frustrating, because I have a doctor that is supposed to not be managing my pain, but be managing my other symptoms. And instead, he's insisting that all I have is chronic pain disorder. And it's very frustrating that he won't listen. But the good news is that my mom and my doctor, my primary, are both very willing to switch my rheumatologist to a different rheumatologist. And hopefully I can get into her and not wait another 8 months for care, because that would suck. That would really suck. I'm really tired of my life being interrupted. I still remember what it was like to function, and that wasn't that long ago. It was actually about two months ago, and something my primary said to me, because I was having a breakdown in her office about this appointment. is that if it wasn't, inflammatory or, had to do with my immune system, if it didn't have to do with one of those two things, then steroids and immunosuppressants wouldn't work. Like, they wouldn't do me any good. They wouldn't make a difference in my symptoms. And granted, Plaquenil doesn't do that great. Like, it doesn't do, like, all of what I need it to do, but it does something. That's why I'm on it. That's why I take it. But even then, my eye doctor doesn't want me on Plaquenil because my eyes are starting to suffer. And it's like, okay, like, what do I do now? I don't know what to do. So, like, I know I shouldn't give a shit about what this stupid rheumatologist said, because I've been through so many doctors, because that's what I have to deal with being a young female, like, not being taken seriously, and I need to keep being strong and pushing forward and advocating for my own health, but, like, for the sake of my sanity, I just want to be upset for a little bit. And I just want to take time to be upset about the fact that I know something's wrong, and I know that it's not just pain, and I know it's not all in my head, because I finally feel like I have a grip on my mental health. And I'm just tired of fighting. I'm tired of it. Tired of, like, it made me feel like I was in the military all over again. And it's really exhausting. Like, I didn't fight so hard for what I got just to feel like I got put back in that situation. But it is what it is. Other than that, like, things have been okay. So I don't really have a lot to complain about. But it always sucks when someone doesn't take you seriously. Because I would give just about anything to be normal again. Like, I'm gonna have to have a hip replacement by the time I'm 40 because of that complication, because I just wanted to feel better. And now I can't even take the medicine that makes me feel better, because it'll make it worse and it'll speed up that process. And I'm gonna have to come off the other medicine that makes me feel better, because of my eyes. And I need a backup. I just need a doctor that's gonna help, or at the very least listen. That would be nice. It would be nice to feel like someone's. I like to say, and then after I say this, I think I'll stop recording, but it always feels like the people that want to help the most are the people that have no power to be able to help me. And I hate it. Because it sucks. It's like, your sympathy does nothing for me. But I appreciate it. I need action. This is my life we're talking about. Like, I'm not gonna get any better without someone that's willing to listen to me when I say, hey, when I'm cold or stressed, my fingers turn purple. Like, when I'm tired, I have these moments of fatigue where I completely knock out, and I've almost driven off the road 4 times, and I struggle to eat to the point where, like, I'll go a day or 2 without eating, because it's just easier to do that than to shit my brains out for 4 days straight because I decided I was hungry enough to eat. Like, and it's so painful. Like, I mentioned pain. There's so many different types of pain, but there's pain that has no cause, and there's pain that I know has a cause. And, like, pain from pooping for 4 hours is a lot different than just like, oh, my joints kind of hurt. Maybe I should say that. I'll talk about that in a different video because different types of pain I experience can be explained, but that rheumatologist sucks. I'm gonna go do something that makes me happy.